It's an ally's job to stand up and fight for what's right.
Hey, Michelle, congratulations on being Attitude Magazine's Ally of the Year. Listen, you've always been an ally to me, and you've always been a great best friend. But now the world knows how lovely and wonderful you are. You're always someone we can count on and who we can call on for help. I love you, baby. Congratulations. And thank you, Attitude Magazine. Well done.
What a treat to be given an award, of course, even virtually, by my best friend, the icon RuPaul. Thank you so much to Attitude Magazine, of course, for honoring me with this award. I am a lucky lady indeed. Okay, now, if you weren't aware, I'm a mommy. I have two beautiful daughters, one being a proud member of the LGBTQIA+ community, which in turn gives me even more fuel for fire as an ally to the community. The title of ally is as important to me as the title of mom, and I do take it rather seriously. So I get a lot of DMs, I get a lot of emails, questions, daily about how to become or be a better ally to the LGBTQIA+ community. So I'd like to use this platform to help those who want to be an ally or a more vocal ally. Now, the definition of ally is quite simple, really. A person of one social identity group who stands up in support of members of another group, typically a member of a dominant group standing beside a member of a group being discriminated against or treated unjustly, regardless of your identity. It's an ally's job to stand up and fight for what's right. If you have the ability, you should indeed speak up for those whose voices need to be amplified and supported. You need to stop making excuses for those in your lives that speak negatively about people in the LGBTQIA+ community and let them know why this is not acceptable. There are opportunities every single day to educate through love rather than hate. Being an ally is more than just being sympathetic towards those who have been discriminated against. Being an ally is more than just saying you believe in equality. Being an ally means you're willing to act with and on behalf of others with hopes and intentions of bringing oppression finally to a halt, and of course, creating equality for all. Thank you so much, Attitude Magazine, for this honor. Here's to an incredible, beautiful, equal 2021. Stay healthy. Hey, I'm Michelle Visage. Hit like and subscribe to see more from Attitude. Everybody loves an attitude, honey.